list in the Constitution that you're essentially, for lack of a better word, stuck with it, but that you think that Governor Walker, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but Governor Walker is doing the right thing, basically busting that union or trying to at least eliminate many of the collective bargaining rights.
Scott Walker's doing has the same problem I have. He's got a big budget deficit. He's got 3.6. I think it's 3.6. Mine's 3.6. He's got a lot smaller budget, so it's a bigger problem for him. I'm doing the same thing he's doing. Say, how do we make sure we treat taxpayers fairly? Because if you're a taxpayer in the state of Florida, you don't have a pension plan most likely. If you have any plan, you have a 401k plan that you pay into. So I want to treat taxpayers and government workers fairly. Government workers ought to pay into the pension plan. So that's my job. It's a balancing act. How do you treat people fairly?
When you met with the president, actually all the governors the past weekend, did you think the president understood your state's problems?
No. I mean, I asked him. I said, look, here's our problem. We need jobs. We're competing with other countries, and so high corporate tax rates, the deficits, the increased regulations happened in the last 2 years. All that's doing is impacting jobs. Obamacare is killing jobs because it's not focused on driving down healthcare costs. It's raising our cost of doing business. So we need to stop and think. We're competing with all these other countries. We can't treat business people worse, or the dollars will go someplace else.
And he doesn't get that, you don't think?
Based on his actions, he doesn't.
What about the national health care? The federal lawsuit actually is in your home state. It's in the northern part of Florida, and the judge has declared the statute unconstitutional, the entire statute. Are you going to take any steps to implement the national health care before it gets to the Supreme Court, we get a final decision?
Sure. Our Attorney General did a great job making sure we won that lawsuit, and she will continue to do a good job. We are not going to implement it. It's unconstitutional in our state. It's not the law of the land. I'm not going to implement any of that bill. It's bad for patients. It's bad for taxpayers. It's bad for business.
Do you fear, though, that down the road you'll lose it in the Supreme Court and you're sort of behind the 8 ball because you haven't taken any steps to implement it?
No, we're not going to lose it in the Supreme Court. And again, if we do, I don't think we will lose it in the Supreme Court. I believe it's going to get repealed. We all know that is a horrible law for patients, for taxpayers, and for businesses. And that is jobs.
You have one message for the president. What's that?
I would stop and think about how he's impacting the job base in this country. I mean, our biggest problem in our state is jobs. We have 1 million people out of work. We need to treat business people differently. We need to say, we've got to reduce our taxes. We've got to reduce the regulation. We can't have these deficits. We've got to say, how do we compete with these other countries? That's what we need to be focused on.
Any position when the Florida primary should be for president?
It should be the earliest we can have it without losing any delegates.
So what does that mean?
I think it's the first part of March.
First part of March?
Yeah.
So you don't agree? So you agree with Senator Rubio that we should move it up as fast as possible, or not?
But I don't want to lose any delegates. I want to have it as early, but not lose delegates.
Governor, nice to see you. Welcome to Washington, and we have a little sunlight today.
A little bit today.
Not quite like Florida, but it's pretty today.
Yeah.
Nice to
thanks
see
a
you,
lot.
sir.
If you give us a few minutes.